Now, Mpumalanga police have made a breakthrough arresting 2 men in connection with the torching of at least 51 Putco buses. Now, the vehicles were set alight on Monday night at 4 depots. Nqobile Madlala is tracking those developments and joins us live now. Nqobile, a little bit earlier, just some of the conversations you had been having were really around why this had been happening and some of the factors that really could really help all those who are in an attempt of trying to get more information. Perhaps any further developments, if you could offer those as well.
Well, Arabile, what we know from the police is that they've said that they're not going to rule out that there's going to be more arrests. At this point, they have 2 suspects that they have arrested, 129 and 137. Now, that is a movement forward for the police, mainly because they had been looking. You'll remember that the incidents took place just a day before they were able to make an arrest. If you think about it, it happened on Sunday afternoon, and the next day they were able to make arrest, which would be a Tuesday afternoon. So just one day apart. However, this means then for the police that they need to work much harder in ensuring that they're able to secure in terms of what took place. We know that they know the vehicles that were used. We are to hear if they have been able to confiscate that. We know that the people that have been arrested at this point cannot be charged, but they are said to be in connection with what has taken place behind us, which is the burning of those trucks, which we understand at this, of those buses, which we understand at this moment, really does create a bit of conflict for those people that are supposed to be using the buses in the morning. Even though we didn't see quite a lot of long lines, we know that Putco does have over 200,000 customers, and already we know from the Minister, Barbara Chrissy, that they've said that this is equal to a sabotage of the economy, mainly because we know there's movement between Mpumalanga and Pretoria. But we do have Lindokuhle Xulu, who is the spokesperson for Putco, to speak to us. And I mean, the breakthrough of 2 people being arrested surely must sit well with Putco.
It's welcomed from a Putco point of view. Police have done a stellar job, not just in saying that they are going to do something, but we've seen them being stationed at our depot, particularly the Moloto depot here, throughout the day yesterday. And they were teams that were also there in our Roseville depot in Pretoria. All of them were coordinating, making sure that they get to the bottom of what happened. From us, we welcome the fact that they found 2 suspects, and also that they've been able to identify the vehicles that were used in terms of moving around to these depots to actually set the buses alight. So we welcome it very well, and we appreciate the efforts that are coming from the South African Police Service.
And it's interesting that you say, obviously, you have seen them in your space making sure that they're doing those investigations. It's very, just perhaps the question around the security within the spaces that your people work in. Would you say then that you were able to maybe have things like cameras around this area?
Look, it's difficult for us because the camera surveillance in this area, yes, we do have. But in some areas, the depots that have been targeted are what we call sleeping grounds. Already from a bus point of view, you have camera surveillance. But if you ban buses, then that surveillance as well as the mother body that records all of those things is then damaged, and we can't salvage the footage from that. But we've been able to provide sufficient evidence, we believe, to the police in terms of giving them a hard drive and giving them information that has led to this. So from a company point of view, we're satisfied with the information that we've been able to give to the police, and we believe that it played a key role in making sure that the suspects are apprehended. We hope now that from this apprehension of the suspects that we're going to get answers, start getting answers in terms of who else was involved, who is behind this, and what exactly was the motive in terms of banning the 50 buses that we see behind us.
And we also know the MECs are coming to obviously have conversation with Putco. Take us through the sort of conversations you want to have.
Yeah, look, first of all, we want to commend and applaud the Mpumalanga Transport Department as well as the Mpumalanga Public Safety Department. They've been at the forefront of making sure that, first of all, they pledge their support to Putco. And so when they come, obviously, we're going to show them exactly what has happened, the extent of the damage. It's about collaboration at the end of the day. And once you get support from the highest offices, that is what promotes then the results that we're seeing today. So we're hoping that we'll have an engagement conversations that will say not only about what has happened here, but about preventative measures and get their support in terms of what we need to ensure that this doesn't happen. We mentioned yesterday, without any fear or favor, that we also had a problem with the taxis in this particular area. So those are some of the interventions that we want to have and to see, unfold when we engage with the powers that be, which is the Department of Transport and Public Safety. So some of those things we're looking forward to canvassing to the MECs that will be present here, and then get maybe a sense of how we move forward in terms of finding solutions for public transport, not just for Putco. I think the most important thing is the passengers that you spoke about. Yes, we are trying to do all we can, but they are the ones that bear the brunt of whatever is happening within the transport industry. So we're hoping that this will be fixed, particularly for those passengers.
All right, thank you very much for speaking to us. Well, Nqobile, this is Lindokuhle Xulu speaking to us, of course, about what is taking place here. They are looking forward to those conversations with the MECs, which we understand will be arriving here at about 10 o'clock. It's very important also to explain that the association within Mpumalanga has already explained that they are condemning what has taken place here and that the taxi association is not part of it. And they've said that they basically are commending what the police have been doing as well. And we understand that, of course, Putco has had those conversations with the associations when they were unhappy with how they were basically sharing the road. But we will hear more once the MECs are here.